all, welcome everyone to the third day of this Smart Brunch Week. Today we have something very special on the menu. We have Alla Pysanka, she's going to start, and then we have Katya Prochenko. And I met Alla back in 2021, and this was something I did not expect. We joined a course, a CP prep course. I never took the exam. I took the course just for fun. It was more like for fun, I guess. But I think this course was sent to me just to meet Alla, not to take the exam, not to prove anything to anyone or to myself, but to meet Alla there. And yeah, look where we are now. Yeah, visiting conferences, speaking at our own events. And I think it's just the start. It's just the beginning. So I'm very happy to know you. And when people ask me about Alla, I always say that she is the sunshine of Ukrainian ELT. And I love everything she does. And this, the multimodality, that's a great topic, a big topic. And as I mentioned in stories on Instagram today, there were several talks at ITEFL around this topic. So it means it's something big and it's getting bigger. And there's one more thing that Alla is involved now in, or basically I would say that Alla is doing and promoting, and that's letting the world know more about Ukraine and educating the world about Ukraine through English. She's preparing lessons, and hopefully a course is coming soon about Ukraine, but in English. So you can teach anyone who's learning English and teach them about Ukraine, not just about London is the capital of Great Britain, but Kyiv is the capital of all the brave people. So Alla's amazing. And but you all know that. And yeah, housekeeping, I'll do that too. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the webinar mode, and it means that we cannot see you, the speakers cannot see you, but we can see the chat. So you can leave your comments there. There's also a Q&A button. I hope you can find it somewhere on your Zoom panel. So if you have questions, please put them in that Q&A section so we don't miss them in chat, and you will definitely have time for your questions. What else? The webinar is being recorded, so you will be able to go back to it. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Thank you.
Over to you, Alla.
Thank you. Guys, can you see the slides here? So basically, I didn't change anything from ITEFL. I decided to take that as it is. Can you please put a plus if you see the slides? Yes, great. So yeah, using Instagram to promote multimodal literacy. Most probably over this year, you've heard similar topics about Instagram or about multimodal literacy, because last year I met this topic and it inspired me, and I decided to dig deeper. That's why over this year I've been delving deeper into multimodal worlds, and I was trying to see how I implement that in my lessons. And I would like to share two wisdoms with you why I've been doing that and delivering topics on multimodality or on Instagram, because I decided last year that I want to be a presenter at ITEFL, and I heard very nice piece of advice from Natalie Leshko, who said to be better prepared and not to freak out during the conference. It's a nice idea to have pretty similar topics over the course of some time, maybe a year, maybe two, so that you know the audience, you get prepared, and you're not afraid when it is happening. Still, I was freaking out a lot. But piece of advice, if you are planning to visit ITEFL next year, if you are planning to deliver a talk, because this course of smart branches, it's not only about us sharing experience, it's also about us inspiring you to take part in this wonderful journey, because Ukrainians have a lot to say, first. And the second thing is we are very smart. For us, the bar is pretty high. And I mean, the messages we share, the knowledge we share is pretty profound. So never underestimate yourself. The second word of wisdom I would like to share is don't over prepare during the conference, because the conference lasts 4 official days and 1 unofficial. Like Mondays usually are like the ones for the ones who want more from the conference. But the conference starts on Tuesdays. I was presenting on Thursday, the second part, so which meant I had 3 more days to prepare, and I wrote everything, all the script, what I was going to say. But come on, I can't memorize like half an hour of text. Like, I don't have that great memory. That's why when I was presenting, I remember myself thinking, oh my God, I have such neatly written text there, and what like the hell I'm saying right now. So really, don't over prepare. You know your topic, and if you have presented with the similar topics before, you already know what you're going to be delivering about. So just let it go and enjoy the process. Don't think about the notes. Don't over prepare, because I remember my feeling was like, what has happened? Yeah. So using Instagram to promote multimodal literacy. As Natalie said, together with her, we've known each other for 4 years or something, and we are the organizers of a ESP conference, and actually a smart branch is under this group, and really it's a great pleasure and honor to be working with you, Natalie, because like we're doing great projects. And overall, I guess when two professionals meet, a lot of things click. And like speaking about me, I've got 15 years of teaching experience, 6 years of teacher training experience. I was a director of studies for 5 years. That is why I know how to work with teams, how to deliver different topics, because if you're a director of studies, you need to have a lot of knowledge from different aspects of methodology, and not only methodology, psychology as well, because you're in charge of people. So speaking about Instagram, in Ukraine, especially among millennials, Instagram is a thing. I'm not on TikTok, or maybe one day we will go to LinkedIn because it's more professional and bigger world, but really we get news from the Instagram. And in Ukraine, as of now, there are about 12 million users. Last year it was less, but I guess because we have like demographic situations which are not positive enough. So, in Ukraine, I mean, not Ukrainians, but located in Ukraine, people who are physically here. But overall, there are about 2 billion users of Instagram worldwide, which means the content which is generated every day is massive. And we need to not like we need to exploit that, but it's a great idea to use that, because materials which we can take from Instagram are really up to date. So basically, why use Instagram? First of all, to stay informed. For example, in the morning, I have a choice to read the news, like from The Guardian or from Ukrainian newsletters, but I don't have that much time. That's why for me, this bite learning, which Zhenya was delivering about on Monday, it works for me. I go online and I have my trusted sources. If it's international site, CNN, New York Times, if it's Ukrainian, Kyiv Post and others. So I stay informed there, not only about the current news, but also about the situation with my friends, because quite often we share what we feel on Instagram, then to engage. Because yeah, basically we learn about each other's news from social media. In the past it was Contact, and now Instagram. Pictures, birthdays. Nowadays, really don't remember anything, any dates. That's why it's great when people share that with us and like, oh, we can congratulate. We can see the reels, educational ones. We can react to stories. We can explore, browse for stories as well, because we have the line where you can type the keywords and it will give you the right information. Learn. Again, it's more about bite learning. It's not very deep, but with time, our attention span is decreasing. That's why Instagram is meeting. First of all, it's developing the skill, which is not very nice. But on the other hand, it is meeting this target of very, very short videos, like short outburst of dopamine and some learning process. We can create on Instagram. A lot of people promote themselves there. A lot of creative industries are there. And actually, I've learned a lot about Ukrainian art or about Ukrainian culture directly through there. Maybe because like the people, the artists understand that to target, like to reach the audience, maybe the first thing they need to do, not to create their own site, but to have a page on Instagram, because you get closer to each other. We can even shop. And actually about shopping, I stopped, like when I had general English courses, I stopped using, when we have the topic clothes, I stopped using the course book. We shop online together because it's more relevant. It's what we see, and it's more engaging for students. So you open the page with some shop and you read a very short brief of a new collection, and then you decide what either you want it, to wear it or not. Pretty, very authentic and very engaging. We can next. And actually, yes, Ukraine, all the teachers are literacy educators, but when it comes to literacies, it's not only about grammar and vocabulary. No, it is now more about a lot of words which our students are encountering. And we here, when we talk about Instagram, when we talk about different other social media sites, because YouTube is pretty the same, but with other aims. Here we talk about multiple modes of communication. And like multimodality has nothing to do with modal words. It is about modes of communication. What are they? These are like means of communication, how text communicates with you. In books, we also have multimodal texts or materials, but they are pretty separate from each other. So have a look at the picture, discuss. Read the text, discuss. They are not combined. What Instagram does, for example, if you look at stories from ESP today, like a picture of Natalie was posting a picture of me with wine, yes, and some text. And it is already multimodal text. So there are five modes of communication: linguistic, when we talk about words. And of course, here we are very profound, because it's about stylistics, it's about vocabulary, choice of grammar, which message we want to convey through vocabulary and grammar. The second is visual. And actually, our books use visual mode quite often. And they incorporate it quite well, of course, to especially to activate schemata, to set the context for speaking. Oral mode, music, absence of music, different sounds. For example, nowadays a lot of videos on Instagram go about what is the music of your childhood, and it's not only just the music, it's just this birds chirping, and you understand, yeah, you for example woke up somewhere like in the morning at your granny's, and you have you know that you have sunny day going around, and you set yourself in this mood already. Gestural, face expressions, hand gestures, body language, and spatial, how we communicate through like how far we are from each other. And again, when we talk about not about Ukrainians only, but when it comes to the communication between nations, it matters a lot, because even this distance is very, very important. For example, last year's Olympics was a huge thing on Instagram, because I guess it even promoted more like the Olympic Games, because they tried to showcase the most memorable things, and people kept watching, kept visiting, and a lot of sport like athletes became very, very popular because of that. When we talk about multimodal world, we talk about paper-based materials and digital ones. Paperbacks, books, and like different novels, comics, posters. Digital ones, everything which you see on Instagram, because you don't only encounter only like one like text, because with the text you definitely have a picture or maybe audio or something else. So meaning is conveyed in a different way. And just think about like statistics which we get like from different sources. Sometimes we just read the numbers and okay, we have these numbers. Like for example, yesterday some like we have this newborns, this number of newborns in the city. But if you have that with wonderful picture with small babies and in their beds, of course it's cuter, and you start smiling, and different emotions are evoked because of that. So, yeah, multimodal texts do miracles sometimes. And when we talk about multimodal texts, like remember in classical understanding of skills, we have reading, receptive ones, reading, listening, productive, speaking, and writing. But when we are watching the reels, is it listening? Is it reading? Kinda in between, mixed, combined. The same when, for example, we want to post something in stories. Is it writing? But we decide to take a picture. Is picture a writing? No. That is why in multimodal world they coin two other terms which are called viewing. It's the same as receptive skills, when you understand information, yes, perceive it. And on basic level, it's basically I see this and this and this. On a more advanced level, I see this and this and this, and it means this and this. So basically, you start analyzing with your students. How do you feel? Which colors are used? Why these colors are used? What does the author want to convey? And representing, when we create the stories and everything here, I don't think that we need to teach our students to do that, because they are more profound at that. But with some guidance, they can be even more and more profound, because maybe they don't know about some semiotics, like some principles, and they can be using some pretty bad language or something like that. These are the Instagram pages you can explore, and actually I use when we talk about different with my students. For example, I don't take course books. It's not like they are bad. No, I am an advocate for course books, especially if you take your student from beginner level to upper ones. But with higher levels, advanced, or if they want to have ESP or something, or to talk about what is happening in the world, course books will not help. That's why I really use a lot of CNN. For example, yesterday we were talking with my students about what was happening about the peace talks, and CNN have wonderful brief stories, very like not but very trustworthy. So really, and they are not taking some sides, but of course they are democratic and they support Ukraine quite a lot. United, of course, Kyiv Post. Dr. K, she is a journalist who is talking about Ukraine quite often. She used to live in Ukraine when before the war. Vogue, Harvard Business Review, with business English students do exploit Harvard Business Review. They have a wonderful page on Instagram with infographics, with short texts, wonderful for like to promote discussion. And for example, yeah, like the materials are of C1, C2 level, but we have ChatGPT, which means you take a text, you put in ChatGPT and recreate the text for B2 level, and it will adjust it. Why not? You take a picture and you adjust the text. Some others about inspiration. Here you've got the links. That's why we will share the presentation, and you will be able to follow and to see which works for you best. I will not stop here. So, multimodal words and which frameworks we can be using with that. I want you to have a look at the picture here. And let's take activity number 2, because activity number 1, we need people to be talking. What I want you to do, take a chat and write down the following 3 sentences. I see, so what you see on this picture. I think, which ideas come to your mind when you see this picture. And I wonder, any questions? Any question which you have while you are looking at the picture? You have like 30 seconds to do that, okay? I hope someone is not is really listening in front of a computer and not typing. Because for me, for example, what I see is like not even flowers, some kind of, I know, ice cream cones, something like that. Natalie, you will write, you are going to be writing, I guess, like to support me. So I see, I think, I wonder is one of the activities you can be using with your students. And actually, I used it if you came across like my lesson about Vyshyvanka, I used the same activity, same framework. I even used Ukrainian, it was like a girl who is trying on Ukrainian outfit, and there is a piece of music on the background, and she is, it's like a backstage of the video. And I used Ukrainian motives with no words, but it provoked a lot of discussion already. But it's like leading activity. I see, I think, I wonder. So I see birds and flowers. I think this is a picture by Ukrainian artist. I wonder what it represents. Wonderful. I see a picture of Maria Primachenko. Guys, you know a lot. Just imagine it was Ayatafel, and we know Maria Primachenko because now I really like that people are talking about that and they know Ukrainian culture. But at ITEFL, people said, like, maybe you drew it because, yeah, it's a child, it's naive art. Of course, it is like a child has painted it. I see birds and flowers. I think how many beautiful it is. I wonder what ideas are hidden there. Yeah, and I really like that Maria Primachenko, she was noting down, like writing some short sentence about to each painting of hers, so that we understand what she meant. Yeah, so you know that it is Maria Primachenko. Imagine that you don't know, but still. Now, at IATEFL, I was sharing this video. I want you to look through the questions. You're going to be watching the video. Just think, you're not going to be writing about that because we don't have time, but I used the video from United. Just can you see the picture or not? Like Instagram page. Put a plus if you can see the picture. Like my Instagram page. Yes. Okay. Now, like, have a look at the questions. Your task is to think. Like, if it was a class, of course, you would work in pairs, discuss, but just try to have this feeling looking at the questions.
Psychedelic zoo from another universe. Her timeless creatures could anchor a top NFT collection today. Born in a small village with no formal training, Maria's works now grace major museums and spark modern fashion brands. Her paintings stun not only visually, but their titles of pure contemporary art. This guy is called Wild Hump Shaker, and these are a humpbacked horse sat in the flowers, brought happiness to everyone. This beast drinks poison, and the snake sucks it. This beast has opened its mouth and wants to eat a flower, but its tongue is thin. And Holly Guacamole, Atomic War, damn it. Maria Primachenko is Ukraine's What If, opening Infinite Fantasy. Follow United 24 Media for more.
Yeah, of course. So if it was a lesson with your students, of course, you assign time and you discuss what you see here. And here, remember, so the main activity is speaking, but also to be talking about Ukraine and Ukrainian identity and engage students in that. Remember, in classical understanding of methodology, we have 4 skills to develop. And together with these four skills, we have vocabulary, grammar, and phonetics. Here, I shift the focus because for me, the most important thing is to start talking about Ukrainsky, what I say, Ukrainian identity. That's why it's like main idea is this one, but through English, of course. Colors, and here I was focusing only on colors, but for example, when we talk about cinematography, this routine is from cinematographical world, and you can be talking about the characters there or about the author, what does he want to convey. So it's not only about colors, but here I guess color is one of the main characters. Speaking about representing, you may be asking your students to create something on Instagram and, for example, there was an exhibition of Maria Primachenka in Ukrainsky Dim 2 years ago or something, maybe 3 years ago. They can go there. So it's again, immersive experience. They go there, they take a picture and they tell what they feel about it. Or they can choose a picture from Instagram, from different sites, and also make a screenshot with a story. Another thing which really impressed me quite a lot, that, for example, I have a student who is in charge of, who was in charge in creating Eurovision when Skalush won, and Ukraine, we couldn't have concert, of course, in Ukraine in 2023, but they asked the Ukrainian side to create the first VT, the first video of entrance of Eurovision, and all of a sudden, like we discussed it half a year ago or something, I see this representing came out this way. So Maria Primachenka's pigeon of Oda of Peace was on the car wagons of metro or on Maidan. You never know when it clicks in your students, and they don't just learn the language for the sake of language. They learn some materials with you, together with you. And I guess it's a great mission when you see that different aspects click, and you see that the things that you gave your students as materials are represented in their further work. It's really, yeah, for me, it's impressive and it's rewarding. Again, on my TEFL, I was talking that Ukraine, for us, Instagram is not only about sharing news or learning about something. It's also about checking on each other, like how are you feeling? And this tiyag is one of the things which we, I guess, use more often than other phrases nowadays, especially. And multimodality is about, like, if you remember this Bloom's taxonomy approach, on the basic level, we have this remember, understand, and apply. I learned some facts, I repeated them, I kind of understood, and I use the same facts. Multimodal literacies help you with higher order thinking skills. So you start analyzing, okay, what does this news channel want me to understand? Why do they do that? What do they want to convey? How can I evaluate that so I'm not strict with that? How can I create that, like my own material, so that influences some ideas? And in Canada, in Australia, and in Japan, they have already they are already creating the courses, literacy courses on multimodality, so that students understand and they develop critical thinking through that, because we are consumers of of the material or content from different social media sites, but how critical are we with what we are doing? For example, I see my parents, how they repost my information. I think like, oh my God, because they don't understand if it's a trustworthy material or not, because they don't have these skills. Our generation really does have, like, or at least we are developing this skill. So the last things, the references. And again, yes, students with us, they don't just learn English, they explore the world and they communicate what really matters to them. For me, what really matters is this Ukrainskiist, and I want my students to know more about culture because I'm interested in that. If you're interested, you can be talking about anything and your students will like it. So here I'd also try to use multimodal worlds to explore and to dive deeper in what kind of people we are as Ukrainians. Like perfect timing. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Maybe Natalie, you have heard this talk, but maybe guys, you have some questions too.
No questions so far.
Okay, then let me, I guess I will tell that in Ukrainian. Let me introduce, tell you about the project which I've got. So yeah, basically, Natalie, we have been talking with you about that quite often.
Yes.
How to convey, and it's like finally.
Yes. Oh, can I say something here?
Yes.
I really want to say something here. Because it really pains me that usually when kids learn language at school, the way I was taught and the way they are still taught now, it's usually they learn about the culture and the country of that language. So it's like they know how to tell about the history of Great Britain in English. They know how to tell about Big Ben, about cities, but they rarely learn how to speak and how to tell about the history of Ukraine in English, about their city, their village in English. But basically, English is a tool for communication. And that means that we need to ask questions about London, about Big Ben, but we need to be able to tell about our country. And the thing you are doing right now, it's so good. It's a little transformation. It's a tiny step, but I believe we're gonna get somewhere to a beautiful place with this.
I guess because I'm also curious, and I thought like, okay, how can I implement that in my life? I mean, like, I want to explore more. I need time for that, so maybe I can combine that in lessons, do my research, because it's not like I know everything. Of course, I do research every time before I create any lesson on Ukraine. And for example, about London, I remember last year when we were visiting ITEFL, we were also visiting London, and I remember about Christopher Wren, St. Paul's Cathedral. Where is it? Trafalgar Square with Admiral Nelson. Guys, you remember those texts pretty well. I can't, for example, we have Maidan and we have this style. I don't know about, know nothing about the history. Why was it created? When was it created? How come is that we know more about Ukraine, about English history, about London is the capital, stands in River Thames. We remember those texts because it's not only one course. It's every year you study that. And you know nothing about your capital. Yes, that's why I guess I will switch to Ukrainian. Multimodальний урок українськості. Oh, hello, Kate. We are like finishing. Yes, like I'm promoting my course. You may like listen to that. So basically, Natalie and I were discussing that it's nice not only to know and to talk about English culture, like London is the capital of Great Britain and something, but to be able to hold a conversation to telling about Ukraine, because Ukrainians are now everywhere, and we're like, we know pretty nothing about Ukraine. That's why I started creating those courses, trying to incorporate multimodal approach to that, and so that we are able to deliver and to tell some interesting facts to the world, not only between each other. So basically, about the course, I guess okay, I don't know, English or Ukrainian, 4 lessons with me. 1 hour of a lesson, teachers are like students, then half an hour to examine and to see how, which framework I used from multimodal approach, and how we can adjust that for your context. We have this Živa practical live participation and the community of teachers. Basically, I need 8 teachers because the group will also only consist of 8 people. So if you want to, if you feel that it resonates with you, welcome to join.